Hi, welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Live Golf Academy in the fitting studio here, and we've got a little driver head-to-head for you here today with the new PXG 0811XF driver, so new driver from PXG, and I'm going to put that against the Ping G400 Max Driver. So recently done a review of the PXG on my channel. I was really impressed with the performance of that, the sound of that, the looks of that was really nice. And I'm going to put it against the G400 Max because these two drivers for me in the similar sort of category. And it's quite an interesting one because obviously Ping designers have jumped and PXG have took Ping designers on when they've obviously launched the company. And we're seeing that resemblance of that Ping look with the PXG products here. So two drivers that really aimed in the Max category as the name of the Ping one here in terms of ultimate sort of footprint here, forgiveness and ball speed. So if you're new to my channel and you haven't already subscribed, do hit my logo in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, MNG, and you can get subscribed so you get notifications of any future videos. If you're enjoying the videos that I'm posting, do fire some comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the videos. Obviously give it a thumbs up so I know you guys are liking the videos, and give me maybe some ideas for future videos to do for you guys that you might be interested in. Okay, so we're going to start off with the PXG here. So this is a 0811XF driver, so the extra forgiving. So as I said in my review, I've done more of an in-depth review here. I'll put a little link up and you can maybe go and check that out. But large footprint, bigger footprint here, and this is more of a sort of draw bias club. So PXG is saying this club head is rotating, squaring up quicker than any other club that they sort of produce in terms of drivers. So we've got some weighted screws on the bottom as we see with all PXG sort of products, and these are positioned 3 in the center back and 3 in the heel section. So obviously by switching the heavier weights into heel makes it even more draw bias. I've got this set with the heavy weights just in a neutral position, so it's just in a straight biased. I've got this in a Project X hazardous shaft here, and I've got the same shaft in the Ping G Max. So we've got the same shafts here, and I've got this is a 10.5 head here in the XF, but I've lofted this down to 9 degree. Okay, so it's a bit more suited to my loft. So we're going to hit 5 balls, and then we'll see how XF performs, and then we'll pitch the G400 Max up against it. Let's get this first one hit. Okay, that's a solid first hit there, really neutral sort of ball flight, just slightly up that right hand side there, but that was a decent strike. That's getting out at 285. Okay, not the longest there, but as I said in the review, this club sounds brilliant. It sounds a really good sort of sound to it, you know, it's sort of muted. It's definitely not a sound, and probably the biggest thing that shocked me in the review of this was how sort of muted it sort of sounded really, because generally you associate the sort of bigger headed clubs with quite a loud crack, a very sort of hollowy sort of sound, very loud, abrasive sort of sound in a way. You know, it sounds like it's explosive. It's coming off that's more distance as we sometimes think, but that's a really great sounding golf club there from PXG. That's a lovely flight. Super strike, that felt really strong there. I should get a bit more out of that, I think. Yeah, 193, that's getting up to there. A little bit straighter flight as well, and just a bit lower, a little bit better strike. I think our first one I just caught a touch higher in the face. Just got a little bit of fade on these shots, which is quite interesting. You know, being a bit more of a draw bias club, just sort of getting a little bit of fade on those first 2 shots. Again, decent connection, just up that right a little bit there. Flight's really strong again. So distance-wise, yeah, 288. So not really getting my longer shots here. I think this spin's not quite as low as where I probably want it. And obviously with the XF head, it's not really suiting for possibly low spin sort of characteristics. Even though PXG is saying this is fairly low spin considering the size of the head. But I think with that, those 3 sort of heavy weights in that center section, which is right at the back of the head, that's pulling CG back, which is going to want to try and create a little bit more spin. So probably not quite suited this particular head for my sort of swing and my characteristics. I know my spin does get a little bit high. It's always something, a number I'm trying to sort of get down as much as possible. Okay, again, good strike. Just looks to be climbing a little bit there. 288, 289. So again, it's a really consistent number here, but probably not as long as what I would generally hit sort of driver. I generally get a couple going up to that 300. As soon as I get the strike right, the spin a little bit more controlled, I will squeeze that 300 and, you know, maybe that 305 area there. Okay, let's get one more hit with the XF driver. Okay, that's a solid hit to finish on there. That was really quite a neutral flight. Felt really solid. Yeah, not as long as I thought. 278, giving up some yardage there. When that spin is there. Yeah, 3,400. That's my only concern with this. It just spins up a little bit too much there. Now in my review, I sort of controlled that a little bit. I think I averaged around that sort of 2,728 sort of mark, but I've got a feeling these might be a little bit higher. Just sort of see that visually. It just sort of climbed a little bit. It still gives quite a nice ball flight there. I love the sound of it. I love the look of it. And I love the feel of it off the club face. Very much ticking the boxes, but maybe just not quite getting the length that I sort of would generally expect from a club like this. So, okay, let's 5 shots here. Let's jump into the G400 Max. I'll hit 5 with that, and then we'll check some numbers out in a little bit more detail. Okay, so we've got the G400 Max in our hands here now. So obviously the Max version of the G400 family now is obviously big. It's maxed out. So the footprint's big. It's a 460cc, which is 15cc bigger than the standard G400 head here. So what we're seeing here is a bigger from sort of toe to back section of the golf club. So ultimately a bigger footprint as you put it down. Very much the same look as G400, obviously the turbulators, dragonfly happening here. A little bit of different grooving pattern on the face here, but Ping are sort of saying a little bit more hotter off the club face, and obviously a more forgiving golf club with it being the size of the head. So again, CG's pulled right to the back, similar to what we've seen in the PXG there. So I've got the same shaft here, has this yellow here in a stiff, and this is a 10.5 degree head, but I can only loft this down to 9.5. So the PXG I could get down to 9, this I can only get to 9.5. So I couldn't quite, with the way the neck settings work, I couldn't quite get it exactly the same. So there is half a degree of difference in the loft, with the Ping being half a degree more, but pretty identical. So we'll get this first one hit here. Okay, just pull that up the left-hand side there. Straight was okay, maybe a touch heel, it's just started that ball touch left there. First real big thing is the sound of that carry. That got out there, was it 295, was it, I think? Double check that in a minute. But yeah, the sound of it is very, very different there. Much, much louder crack there compared to the PXG. It's not too loud by any means there, but just definitely louder than the PXG. Oh, that's solid. Slightly different flight. It looks to be a little bit more penetrating there. It feels a bit hotter off the club face. Yeah, 296. So straight away there, we've seen a few more extra yards out there. Granted, they're just up that left-hand side a little bit there, just slightly pulling, but the feel off that is great. It feels really powerful off the club face. It feels like it's going further. The flight on that is a little bit flatter. It looks to be a little bit low spin. Again, we're going to look at some spin numbers, a little bit more detail after we've hit these shots. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because we've got, obviously, PXG have set up, and the Ping's head sort of club designs have gone to PXG, and we're definitely seeing that resemblance of look, you know, with that shaping of the head, the matte black finish, black face. It's very much, and we sort of see that in the PXG irons as well, very much of that Ping sort of look and shape to them. Okay, it's just popped up a little bit higher there. Again, it's a solid strike, very neutral on the ball flight. Just popped up a touch, again 296. So same numbers last time. That felt a little bit higher in the face, which probably that launch just crept up a little bit. But the spin looks to be pretty controlled. I think that was around 2,500 there, but quite a neutral ball flight and quite consistent between those first 3 shots I've hit anyway. Oh, wow. That's crunched. Absolutely crunched. That felt superb. As I say, definitely a slightly louder crack there than PXG. What did that go? 295. I thought that must be over 300. That felt like I absolutely crunched that. But the flight on that was beautiful. Really neutral. Again, I'm hitting in such a concentrated area. I'm probably going to blow it now for this last ball now. I'm going to spray this one off the park. But those 4 shots are so concentrated there, consistency-wise. You know, I just feel more comfortable with that. I like the look. Equally, I like the look of the PXG there, to be honest, but that just feels really comfortable and really solid through the shot there. Right, so we're going to hit the last one with the G400 Max. So after piling myself loads of pressure here now, that this one needs to be straight to try and keep my pattern as tight as I can. This is probably going to go off the part, but let's try and hit a straight one again. Oh, there we go. Talked myself into that. It wasn't too bad. A little bit push up that right hand side there. Just got under that, climbed a little bit. I was going to lose a little bit of length there. Yeah, 285, yeah. That was my own fault, talked myself into that one. Okay, so there's 5 shots hit with the G400 Max. Let's go and look at some numbers, a little bit more detail, and see if one has the edge over the other. Okay, so let's look at some numbers here. So we can see club head speed pretty identical there, just half a mile an hour slower with the ping there, but nothing in it at all really. Ball speed wise, just a fraction quicker with the ping. So even though we're half a mile an hour slower swing speed average, we're nearly half a mile an hour more ball speed. So maybe a little bit of club face there, just working that ball speed off the face a little bit quicker there. So smash just a little bit more efficient there with the ping. Launch it just a fraction higher, again probably that 9.5 loft against the 9 is probably just doing that more than anything. Spin wise, we've got that coming out at 2844 with a ping, and obviously just under 3,100 with the PXG. So better spin number there with the ping. Obviously strike's going to control that a little bit there also. And bear in mind, you know, 9.5, it's half a degree more, so you'd expect a little bit more spin, yet I've got a little bit less spin. So that's helped us to create a little bit of a difference carry. So that smidge more ball speed, that lower sort of spin number and a fraction higher on that launch has helped me to get that extra 5 yards on average carry distance. And then that 7 yards rollout. So a little bit more rollout there as well as carry there with the ping. Okay guys, so there we go. There's 2 big headed drivers here. These are aimed at the golfer who wants that ultimate forgiveness, as much ball speed as possible, extra distance, and also that little bit maybe of trying to get the club face to square up a little bit more than not. And obviously both of these are adjustable as well, so you can fine tune these, and also through fitting sessions there's lots of different shaft options. So looking at those numbers there, obviously the ping there has just got a slight advantage there with that little bit more ball speed with less club head speed, which is never a bad thing. And that spin number's a little bit more controlled, slightly higher launch there, probably because of that loft more than anything, and that's helped me to get that little bit more distance at the end of it. But apart from that little gain of distance, the control I had over that felt much tighter, felt much more under control. The shots were a little bit, well, they were a lot more consistent coming out the same direction. So that felt comfortable to me. Whether that's just that balance of the club, the look of the club inspired me a little bit more, you know, I don't know, it's one of those. But that came out a lot more consistent apart from that last one, unfortunately. I let that one go, I talked myself into that one. PXG, again, I love the look of it. The sound of it is incredible. I think definitely a better sounding golf club there. The matte black finish, great. Love the shape of it. The feel off the club face was superb. The numbers just didn't quite back that up really. You know, just a little bit less there. The flight just was a little bit more inconsistent. I just saw that ball come out a little bit differently each time there. So for me personally there, I'd probably go G400 Max, you know, on those sort of numbers. And then obviously you've got, I mean, you guys are going to weigh in the price difference here. You know, this PXG is like double the price of what the ping is. So I'll let you guys decide whether you can afford to do that, whether you want to do that, whether you want the profile of having a PXG driver in your bag with your other PXG clubs. I don't know. There's a bit of a status possibly there as well. But in terms of performance, forgetting the price tag there, you know, for me, the ping just edges it. Okay. Hope you found this video interesting, guys. Do let me know. Comment down below. Have you got PXG or G400 Max? The G400 Max has been a really popular one for us through fittings. It's given some really sort of good numbers there, and I quite enjoyed hitting that as well. So, you know, let me know your comments between those 2 clubs in this comparison. Let me know if there's any other comparisons you'd like me to do. I can't get hold of every single club options, but if I've got them, I will certainly try and do my best to do that for you. If you haven't already subscribed, do hit my logo, bottom right hand corner of the screen, MNG, and hit that subscribe button, and then you get notifications of any future videos, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.